Okay, so we're on the lunch break of day 9 of the Undercover Policing Inquiry, Tranche 2, Phase 2. I'm joined with Dave Morris. We've just been listening to the evidence of Chris Baillee, who was an animal rights activist, member of London Greenpeace, and was targeted by a number of undercover officers, including Mike Chitty, Bob Lambert, John Dines, and HM1, who used the cover name Matt Rayner. Does appear to. Is this working properly? It's always hard to tell. There's terrible problems with the tech, I'm afraid. As everybody knows, I don't know what the hell I'm doing when it comes to this sort of stuff. Oh yeah, it does appear to be working. Okay, so Dave, what do you think of this morning's evidence?
So first of all, I have to be quite cautious because I've given half of my evidence yesterday, and I'm coming back tomorrow, so I can't touch on anything that that affects the content of my evidence. But I can say that I knew Chris really just through London Greenpeace because I wasn't involved with animal rights. I used to see him at London Greenpeace meetings where we discussed a whole wide range of issues. But one thing I remember about him is he occasionally turned up at meetings in a diving suit with flippers.
Okay.
And I think, that was a kind of, it's punk, isn't it? And people were generally, what's the word? Challenging authority and perceptions, which is, anyway, that was always something that makes me laugh. But he was a lovely guy. He is a lovely guy. He's got lots of health problems at the moment. But the only other thing I remember about Chris, really, apart from that period, is he's been a Haringey resident, Tottenham resident for a long time, and he, about 5 years ago, I think there were some train strikes. He was involved with. He worked for the railways, and he was always supportive of picket lines and so on. So sometimes when people get characterised for one thing, such as, he's an animal rights activist, it doesn't really show the full range of their experiences and character and concerns. So, I think that's a sort of general point about this inquiry, is everyone gets put in little boxes. But in fact, people are much more complex and rounded. So that's probably all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, I think Chris's evidence, though he was very open about the fact that he couldn't remember a lot of things. He was very clear-minded about the details that he did know. He was asked about all the former undercover officers. He explained that he didn't know a lot of them particularly well. He says he didn't know anything about their relationships because that wasn't anything that he ever was interested in with people generally anyway. He talked about. I mean, I appreciate that a lot of the things that he talked about are things that overlap with your evidence, so we can't really talk. Well, you can't really talk about them. But I mean, I would say that he did corroborate really, basically, with a lot of the things that Dave said yesterday, talking about how London Greenpeace was a peace and anti-nuclear group that started to be involved, more interested in animal rights once he got involved. He pointed to Bob Lambert. I mean, one of the most telling things I thought was he was on about how he was asked about Bob Lambert coming to the pub after meetings, and did he come to? You went to pub after meetings? Did Bob come as well? Oh God, yes, every week. And this idea of it was really around the sort of the social scene that existed around the meetings of London Greenpeace, over and above the actual meetings themselves, where Bob Lambert and a lot of these undercover officers really operated. I mean, this is something we see much later on as well, is that these officers aren't just infiltrating meetings or kind of getting themselves in positions within organisations. They are infiltrating whole communities. So that was there's more to come from Chris this afternoon. It should be a fairly sensible finish. We're looking about hopefully a 4 o'clock finish. It's been suggested, so I can't imagine they're going to keep him too long. But I think he's been a good witness. Like I say, very clear-minded. He certainly, because of his health problems, I think he hasn't quite heard a lot of the questions. There've been a few times where it's been said to him, "Is this report correct?" He goes, "Yes," and they go, "Did you do this?" "Oh no, I didn't do that. That's not right." So there was a few times with that, which was a bit, but I think that's just more to do with his inability to hear properly. He is joining via video link. Dave, anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
No, but The most important thing is everybody keeps on keeping on. I hear that there's now a fascist who's the head of the largest, most powerful country in the world. So,
I'd missed that one.
yeah, so, in real life, it's up to us all to make sure that we, create mass movements that are going to stand up for what's right.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I mean, I mean, just quickly on that, yeah, it's kind of horrific news coming out of the US, but I mean, it was going to be horrific news either way, I would say. And yeah, all we've got is each other. So anyway, thanks for joining us. I'll do another one of these reaction videos at the end of the hearing today. I've also been going on Instagram today and doing little sort of updates during the shorter breaks because I haven't really got enough time to set this up properly. So you'll check those out if you're interested. I'll try and upload them all in one place at some point eventually. I don't know. Anyway, see you this afternoon. Cheers.
Hi, what are you doing here?